Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Native War Paints Holiday Homecoming collection. There are 15 polishes in this collection, so this video is going to be a little long. I'll jump right into it, but I did want to mention that I have a 20% off coupon code for you guys if you are interested in picking any of these up. I'll have that linked down in the description box, as well as a link to Native War Paints so you can check any of these out. And yes, on to the swatches. The first polish is called First Snowfall, and this is a white crelly with a really soft, kind of silvery white shimmer. So here is one coat of First Snowfall. So like I said, this is more of a crelly finish, so it is a little bit sheer on the first coat. The formula in this is really good though. It's really easy to spread out and apply. It's a tiny bit thin. I feel like it's pooling a little bit on me, but it's not bad. So there is one coat of First Snowfall. I will let that dry and come back for a second coat. Here is two coats of First Snowfall. So it covers pretty well on two coats, but you can still see through it, or see through like certain parts of it. So I'm going to probably do 3 coats of this one. I definitely think this one is thin enough to be really good for jelly sandwiches though. So there is 2 coats of First Snowfall. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. Here is 3 coats of First Snowfall. You can see this covers really well on the third coat. You don't have any of the patchiness or streakiness that we had before. That is 3 coats of First Snowfall. The next polish is Gingerbread Lane, and this is a multicolored holographic micro glitter. This is not dense enough to be worn on its own very easily, but it is an amazing topper. So here is Gingerbread Lane over First Snowfall. This applies really well because it's not meant to be worn on its own. It's not like painfully thick, which can happen a lot with full coverage micro glitters. Really easy to apply, and the sparkle is just insane too. It's much more than it's showing up on camera. So that is one coat of Gingerbread Lane. The next polish is the Perfect Tree, and this is kind of a medium toned green cream. So here is one coat of the Perfect Tree. This one is really smooth and really easy to apply. So that is one coat of the Perfect Tree. I will let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of the Perfect Tree. So you can see that that's completely opaque in 2 coats. It does dry to a little more of a matte finish, or semi-matte, whatever you want to call it. So you would definitely want a top coat if you want this glossy. The formula on this is just really, really good. It's super smooth. So there is 2 coats of the Perfect Tree. The next polish is Christmas Flowers, and this is kind of a muted red cream, and it almost has a little bit of a purple tone in it to me as well, but that might just be me. So here is one coat of Christmas Flowers. This has the same super smooth formula as the Perfect Tree did. Covers pretty well on one coat too, but it's not quite opaque. So there is one coat of Christmas Flowers. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Christmas Flowers. You can see it gets fully opaque on the second coat, and it also deepens the color up quite a bit too. And I just can't get over the formula on this. Is so good. So there is 2 coats of Christmas flowers. It's obviously still wet here. I did want to point out that it also seems to dry to that kind of matte, satiny matte kind of finish. But you can fix that with the top coat if you don't like it. Yeah, this is 2 coats of Christmas flowers. The next polish is under the Christmas tree, and this is a red, green, silver, and gold glitter mix with stars, circles, 2 different sizes of Christmas trees, and it also comes with a baggie of placement glitter that has stars and Christmas trees in it as well. So here is 1 coat of under the Christmas tree over Christmas flowers. I'm not able right now to get a Christmas tree shaped glitter out of it, but that is why it comes with the baggie of placement glitters, so you don't have to worry about fishing for those if you can't get one. But it probably would help to set the bottle upside down for a little while before you're ready to polish too, because then all those Christmas trees are going to sink towards the brush. So there is 1 coat of under the Christmas tree. The red glitter kind of disappears on the red base. I was going to put this over white, but I already had the red on. So again, that is under the Christmas tree. The next polish is Frosted Christmas Cookies, and this is a light green curly base with red and green glitter mixed in, a mix of matte and metallic, and then there are also snowflakes, snowmen, bells, hearts, and I think that's it. I think everything else is a variation of hex glitters, but this also comes with a baggie of placement glitter, so you have all those large glitters in there. So here is 1 coat of Frosted Christmas Cookies. The base on this one is a bit thin, it's a little bit sheer. And I'm not getting a lot of glitter out on the brush either. I don't usually worry too much about getting a ton of glitter on the first coat for these curly bases, just because you don't really see it anyway. You need to worry about coverage on the first coat and glitter on the second one, but I am still not getting very much glitter. So that is 1 coat of Frosted Christmas Cookies. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Frosted Christmas Cookies. This covers completely on 2 coats, but I'm still not getting a ton of glitter. It really does remind me of cookie frosting though. So there is 2 coats of Frosted Christmas Cookie. I didn't get a ton of glitter out of this one, but I also didn't take any of the placement glitters either. I just used what I got out of the bottle. So you could get a more glitter-filled look, I guess, if you used some of the placement glitters. Also, these hearts and some of these larger glitters aren't going to sit completely flat on the nail. And when this dries down, the base is going to dry down below the glitter, so it's going to be a little scratchy. So it's best to always use a top coat when you have any of these kind of crelly glitter mixes, just to help smooth everything out. So again, that is Frosted Christmas Cookies. The next polish is Frosted Windows, and this is a silver holographic, but this is like a silver foil with holographic. I haven't seen a silver hollow like this before. Usually it's more sheer with a ton of the hollow, but this actually has like this amazing foil finish in addition to the linear hollow, which is, hopefully you can see it in my lights, but this is absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like this. So this is Frosted Windows. So here is 1 coat of Frosted Windows. You can see it's a little bit sheer on 1 coat, but it's also really smooth and easy to apply. So that is 1 coat of Frosted Windows. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Frosted Windows. You can see it's still a little bit sheer. It's not really patchy sheer, it's almost like you can see through the silver particles a little bit still. So that is 2 coats of Frosted Windows. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Frosted Windows. So you can see that that covers pretty well on 3 coats. If I look closely, I can still see a bit of my nail line, but it's not anything that anyone would notice unless you pointed it out to them. If it really, really bothered you and you didn't want to deal with a bunch of coats, you could also try putting this over a different silver foil and just kind of using it to add the holographic to it. But I think it looks fine with 3 coats. So there is 3 coats of frosted windows. The next polish is Cool Winter Sunsets, and this is kind of like a deeper oceany blue with this gorgeous like pink purple shimmer to it. So here is 1 coat of Cool Winter Sunsets. You can see this has more of like a jelly kind of consistency to it. It's a little bit sheer on the first coat. The consistency is really good though. It's really smooth. It's easy to spread out on the nail. It's not too thick. It does seem like it's a little bit brush strokey though. So there is 1 coat of Cool Winter Sunsets. It's a little bit sheer, so I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Cool Winter Sunsets. So you can see that covers almost completely on 2 coats. There's a tiny bit of nail line showing, but it's not enough for me to really worry about. You do have to try to be straight with your brush though, because you can get some brush strokes. They're not bad, but they're definitely there. And you can see from my first coat that it also dries to a bit of a kind of matte finish. So there is 2 coats of Cool Winter Sunsets. The next polish is Holiday Party Dress, and this is a black hollow. This is the blackest black hollow I have ever seen in my entire life. I said in a video before that I didn't think that you could really get a true black hollow because I thought that the hollow would gray it out, but I totally take that back now because this is a black hollow. This is amazing. So here is 1 coat of Holiday Party Dress. This is super opaque. So that is nearly opaque in 1 coat. I smoothed out some kind of streaky lines that I had on my pointer finger. It's not quite a 1-coater, it's close, but I still give it a little bit of see-through where I can just see through some of the brush strokes a little bit. But it's so close to a 1-coater. I think if you did a real thick coat, you definitely could get away with this. So that is 1 coat of Holiday Party Dress. The hollow really is not showing like it should on camera, so you'll have to see in the picture, but there's 1 coat of Holiday Party Dress. It's almost opaque in 1 coat, but not quite there. So I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Holiday Party Dress. This is obviously totally opaque in 2 coats since it was pretty close to totally opaque in 1. I really wish the hollow would show properly on camera though, because it's really amazing in person. So that is 2 coats of Holiday Party Dress. The next polish is Mistletoe Kisses, and this is a berry holographic. So here is 1 coat of Mistletoe Kisses. The formula on this one is good too. It feels slightly thicker than the other ones, but it's not too thick, it's just thicker. It covers pretty well on 1 coat too. So there is 1 coat of Mistletoe Kisses. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. Here is 2 coats of Mistletoe Kisses. It covers pretty well on 2 coats. All of these, with the exception of the black of the hollows so far, kind of have this slightly jelly property to them where if you look really closely you can still see the nail line. It's not terrible, it's not anything that anyone else would notice, but just something to be aware of. So there is 2 coats of Mistletoe Kisses. This is a really great hollow, but my lights aren't showing the hollow very well right now. I'm not sure why, because they usually do, but anyway, that is 2 coats of Mistletoe Kisses. The next polish is called Visions of Sugar Plums, and this is a dark purple jelly base with purple and silver holographic glitters mixed in. And there are circles and then a few different sizes of hexes and then a really fine dusting as well. So here is one coat of Visions of Sugar Plums. But with the base this dark, if it wasn't sheer, you would never be able to see any of the glitter that's mixed in. I won't really worry about that until the next coat. So that is one coat of Visions of Sugar Plums. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Visions of Sugar Plums. The base on this one is pretty thin, so I think I'm going to end up doing 3 coats just to make sure that everything gets covered. So there is 2 coats of Visions of Sugar Plums. There's a little bit of nail line, a couple little bald spots. I ended up putting it pretty thick on my last 3 fingers there, but I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Visions of Sugar Plums. And with the base darkened like that, it makes the glitter stand out quite a bit too. I'm not getting a ton of the circle glitters. I got a few when I did the first coat that I didn't really want on there in the first coat because they just would have gotten buried, that I put back in the bottle. But I haven't really gotten too many on the coats that matter, which is kind of weird. I'm not digging too hard for them though, so I think you'd be able to find them. So there is 3 coats of Visions of Sugar Plums. I didn't get too many of the circle glitters out, but I didn't dig too hard for them either. I think if you fished a little bit, you'd be able to get them just fine. So again, that is Visions of Sugar Plums. The next polish is Antique Ornaments, and this is kind of an orangey gold with some gold shimmer. So here is 1 coat of Antique Ornaments. The formula on this one is also really smooth and really easy to work with. It's got pretty good coverage on 1 coat too. I mean, it's definitely going to take 2, but it's not like weirdly thin on the first coat. So that is 1 coat of Antique Ornaments. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Antique Ornaments. So you can see that covers completely on 2 coats. It's a tiny bit brush strokey, but I really don't think you'd ever actually notice it. And the shimmer in this is just amazing. So that is 2 coats of Antique Ornaments. I don't know how I feel about this on my skin tone, but I think it would look really good on someone with darker skin. The next polish is Old Man Winter, and this is a really soft, kind of whitish gray curly base with silver, blue, and gold glitters. It looks like they're all metallic or holographic in varying sizes, and then there's also some white snowflakes, and I think there's some silver holographic snowflakes in here as well. So here is 1 coat of Old Man Winter. You can see the base on this one is very sheer and thin, but I still get a decent amount of glitter out of here without really having to fish. The base has this really soft, like delicate look to it because of that whitish gray, and I think it has to be thin in order to have that look. And I don't know if that was done on purpose, but that's what I like about it, is how soft it is. So there is 1 coat of Old Man Winter. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Old Man Winter. This covers pretty well on the second coat. It's still a little bit sheer. I guess I can see like the tint of my skin underneath it. Not that I can actually see through the polish. It's not streaky or anything, but I think I'm going to do a third coat just for good measure. So there is 2 coats of Old Man Winter. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So I just accidentally did my third coat off camera, but it was really the same as the first 2. Just covered up the little bit of tint that you could see from my nail bed and gave it that soft kind of grayish white look. So that is 3 coats of Old Man Winter. The next polish is Shimmering Icicles, and this is a icy blue with a holographic. So here is one coat of Shimmering Icicles. This one is a bit sheer on the first coat, but the formula is really smooth and really easy to work with. So there is one coat of Shimmering Icicles. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Shimmering Icicles. This covers pretty well on 2 coats, but it's still a little bit sheer, so I'm definitely going to have to do a third. The coverage is even though, it's not streaky at all. So that is 2 coats of Shimmering Icicles. I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third coat. So here is 3 coats of Shimmering Icicles. So you can see that that covers completely on 3 coats, and it even deepens the color up a little bit too. So that is 3 coats of Shimmering Icicles. I really wish you could see the hollow to it too. Again, my lights are a little screwy, so it's hard to see, but it really is amazing, especially in the sunlight. And the last polish is called Ribbons and Bows, and it is this kind of medium purple holographic. So here is 1 coat of Ribbons and Bows. So this one is a bit sheer. The formula is really smooth and easy to work with. It just is sheer. But I also think that this has the strongest holographic of any of the other hollows. So that is 1 coat of Ribbons and Bows. Obviously it's sheer, so I'm going to let that dry and come back for a second coat. So here is 2 coats of Ribbons and Bows. It's a little more opaque on 2 coats, but not really that much. So this is going to need 3 coats as well, but hopefully you can see how much stronger the holographic is in this one than in the other ones. So that is 2 coats of Ribbons and Bows. I think it will be opaque and with 1 more coat, so I'm going to let that dry and come back for a third. So here is 3 coats of Ribbons and Bows. So you can see that the color deepens up a little bit more on 3 coats. This still, I mean, if you look closely, you can still see the nail line. This has that same kind of like almost jelly property that the other hollows in this collection have, but the hollow does seem to be a lot stronger. So that is 3 coats of Ribbons and Bows. And that is the entire holiday homecoming collection from Native War Paints. I will link Native War Paints down below so you guys can check these out. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later. Bye.